Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyards channel. Today we're meeting in the lower garden and we are going to continue our project and cleaning this space up, because this is what happens when you live in a climate that is conducive to growing plants big and lush, and you've lived here for a while. It just means that you have to rearrange rooms and spaces and make room for new things. This area stays predominantly in shade all year long. We typically only work in it during the summertime because it's usually very cold and it stays very wet. So it's not fun and comfortable to work in. It's also been very windy this last week, and we're determined to just get into this space for a little while, even though it's windy and it is kind of cold today. But we typically like to work in it on sunny days. We come here in the shade and work, but it's just we have time to do it right now. So we're gonna do a section of it today. I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you where we're gonna work and what we're gonna do today. So this is the overall area. We have this whole bed underneath a deck that's fairly shady, but the plants are stretching away from the house into wanting more light, and all of these plants could be, well, many of these plants could have just a little bit more light. So we're going to be moving some of these later. But in the middle, we have this dogwood tree, which is really struggling this year, and I'm not sure why. Kind of thinking maybe it's getting too much water because we started irrigating early in the season. Anyway, I need to clean up this bed. We have Solomon seal that has powdery mildew, and it's done blooming, so I'm just going to cut it to the ground and get rid of those leaves. And then there's a bunch of weeding that we need to do. There's some pots in here that I want to move out of the garden now that the shrubs are a little bit bigger. And this pot actually got moved from a different part of the garden. It's just going to get bumped down there a little bit further. We are going to move this hosta, which is right in the pathway of where we like to walk. Of course, when we built the pallet pathway, we hadn't used it, so we didn't know what our natural patterns were. So now we know this is a natural stepping off point and to go to that part of the garden. So we're gonna move this hosta, get rid of all the weeds and the rock. There's a whole bunch of crocosmia that does not bloom because it's too much shade, that has kind of naturalized itself over here. We're going to remove all of that, expose our snowberry. There's another snowberry here covered with crocosmia. Just clear all that out. We have a compost pile right there. It's like a slow compost. It's basically just anytime we weed in this area, things get tossed over there. We want to move that, but we're not going to work on that today. We're just going to get to it and have access to it. There's plenty of weeding and whatnot that needs to be done in here. You can see how the rock has just basically been covered by plant material, and not all this plant material belongs here. So I want to move all of this around and out and whatnot. Then I'm going to weed eat all of this lily of the valley in another natural walkway that typically kind of goes right here. But this time of year, the lily of the valley kind of takes over. But it starts getting really hard to weed out all of the buttercup. So I just want to weed it all down really low, and then kind of hand weed some of the blackberry and horsetail and whatnot in here, and we'll hand weed everything in this rock area. That is pretty much going to be it for this space in this project today. It's kind of late in the afternoon, and that's probably going to be a little while to just to do this like half moon space around this rock garden bed. So it's plenty to do, and we'll capture as much as we can. We're going to kind of tag team it and try to get as much as we can get done, especially since it's not like a really like fine tuning kind of job. It's just like get this stuff knocked down so we can really see what's going on, so then we can make bigger, broader decisions. Oh, well, it's definitely cleaner. We've weeded everything out, exposed the snowberries here. Got all of this cleaned up, removed the Solomon seal that had powdery mildew, and just cleaned this up, just raked it a little bit, and of course weed-eated this little pathway. All the greenery that you see is just the baby of the false lily of the valley. So I mean, there's a little bit of grass and whatnot in here, but all of this is the next stage, and then this is the next stage. Oh, one's broken. It's fine. And then it flowers, and it just continues its cycle. It just, every once in a while, I just need to weed it down because it just starts getting crazy and growing in between plants. Like this is a yellow twig dogwood, and it's all up around the base of this thing. So just did the basic cleanup, and of course there's millions of this debris from the birch tree right there, or multiple birch trees, which makes this rock island nearly impossible to keep clean because it just drops all day long all year long. And along with pine needles and the rain and the constant moisture, even when I'm down here blowing this off once a week, it just piles up. So I don't know if rock is the best solution down here or not. I love the way it looks when it's clean, but it's a little bit frustrating. And the mole has come up a few times. Clearly, we originally laid an old carpet that was removed from a house underneath all of this rock for weed suppression, and then we laid the rock on top. Clearly that's mostly been disintegrated, plus we've poked holes in it, planting things, and now the mole is coming up through, and when they do that, it just creates a big mess, and we lose rock, and it's just, oh God, it's just like a never-ending chore with this space. But I'm glad it's cleaned out. We can clearly see all the plants that we want to keep in here now. I did leave one foxglove that's done blooming, but I'm waiting for it to go to seed because I really want this particular foxglove in multiple areas of the garden. So we're gonna live with that for a minute. I'm gonna move that lungwort. We're going to take this hosta out and put it somewhere else. We're gonna take that little hosta out and put it somewhere else. We're gonna move this guy. I think this one's gonna stay. We're contemplating what's gonna happen with this. This is a Berry Poppins. She's not buried because she didn't have a Mr. Poppins. So I bought a Mr. Poppins, and I would love it to be where that purple plant is. I just don't know if it's gonna have enough sun to do what it needs to do. Anyways, that'll be for another day. Spencer got all of this area cleaned out from crocosmia and whatever else might have been underneath there. He did discover one more black mondo grass. We were in here hunting for all of our black mondo grass the other day, and there's just one more in here, so I'll get that out and place it with the rest of them. Just little details, but like I said, the goal today was just to clearly see what we have in here. And I definitely feel like we got to the bottom of it and we know what's in here. We got rid of the weeds. And now I can like kind of wrap my brain around how do I want this space to be used now? What has worked and what has not worked? What do I need to replace? What do I want to move? How do I want to redesign it so that it is a more sustainable and easier care space? Wasn't hard to like get back up on top of it today. It was just that I don't want there to be areas in my garden that look like that and get that way because they're hard to maintain in the winter time and when it's, you know, it's always cold. And so we avoid coming down here to do maintenance. So I just want to, you know, rethink the area so that we can reclaim it in a way that brings us joy and makes it feel beautiful more often than not. Like I want it to feel beautiful even when it needs to be weeded, not like a huge headache that I don't want to bother with, which is what it's kind of become. So anyways, I hope that you enjoyed seeing us just kind of expose what it was underneath all of the craziness. Next time we're gonna get to underneath here, which will mostly look like pruning and weeding, and then I can decide on which plants of those are gonna get moved and where. So it's just an ongoing project and something that we have to constantly reinvent our spaces to speak to us on new levels in our lives, just like every other aspect of our life, I suppose. Well, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope that you're celebrating your life, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.